Hey guys, welcome to part 6 of the property listings Angular 2 Firebase application. In this video we're going to be making it so we can add a listing to Firebase. I'm not sure if we're going to get to the image upload part. We might have to do that in the next video. Now I had a comment in, I think it was the last part, and someone mentioned that if you go to the listings page or the single listing and you reload, it messes up. So basically what's going on here is that it's loading the page before it actually gets the data, the listing data. So this is actually a really easy fix. All we have to do is go to our components, go to the listing component HTML, and then we're just going to wrap this in a div, and we're going to use the ng-if directive, and we're going to say if listing. Okay, so basically it's going to check for that listing before it tries to load it, and then just close the div down here. Let's tab that over and save. And now if we go to a listing and we reload, it shows up. Okay, so it's not breaking anymore. So thank you to the person that mentioned that in the comments. Alright, so now what we're going to do is this add listing page, we need to put a form here. So let's go to our components and then add listing, and we want to go to the HTML file. Now I'm just going to paste in the form. I don't like to copy and paste, but we're just putting in the markup here. There's no dynamic code. Basically we have a back button which we'll add a link to. We have our form, then we have our different form group divs. Okay, that's a bootstrap class. And the title, then the input, and make sure you have the name attribute on each one of these as well. So we have title, city, owner, bedrooms. Then we have type, which I just have a simple drop down here. And then we have our image file. So make sure you put type file here, and then the price. So we're going to just add a little bit of dynamic code here. For the backlink, we're going to put in router link, and let's set that equals, put some brackets in there, and then listings. Okay, actually let's do slash listings. And then for the form tag here, we're going to put a submit event. So let's set that equal to a function called on add submit. Okay, now each of these inputs, we need to basically bind it to the component property. So to do that, we need to use ng-model. And since ng-model is two-way, we need to use brackets and parentheses. Okay, then we'll say ng-model, and we're going to set that equal to title. Alright, now your ng-model should match whatever your name attribute is. Alright, let's go ahead and just copy this. Paste that in, change this to city. Okay, this will be owner. And then bedrooms. And select, this will be the type. And we have the image. Now the image, I'm not sure if we actually need to do this, but we will anyways. So that'll be image. Alright, and then finally we have the price. Okay, so let's save that, and now let's go into our listing component, our add listing component TS file. Now, in the MeanStack video, or the MeanStack series, we created a validation class, and you can do that now if you want. I did get a comment from somebody saying, why bother with that? Why not just put required in the HTML, with HTML5? And you could just as well do that. You don't have to have a validation class on the client side. But it does make things a little bit more scalable if you want to add other types of validation later on. But for this video, I'm not going to do it again, so that's exactly what I'm going to do, is just put in required for these fields. Okay, so just do that. And let's see, it's up to you what you want to make required or not. I'm just going to do everything. Not the image though. All right. And you can see our form over here. Okay, so if we try to submit, we're just going to get these HTML5 validation. All right, so what we want to do here is we want to bring in some stuff. We want to bring in the Firebase service. Okay, that's going to be from, and we're going to go 2 levels up, // services / Firebase service. And we're also going to bring in the Flash messaging. Actually, I don't know if we need that just yet. I don't know if we need that in this component. So let's not do that yet. Let's bring in the router. Okay. And let's see. Now, all the NG models we created, we need to create properties for. So let's go right above the constructor and we'll put in title. And I'm just going to give these the type of any. You can be more specific if you want, but I'm just going to do that. Okay, so we have owner, we have city, what else? Bedrooms, and price, and type, and image. Okay, so there's our properties. What's going on here? All right. Now we need to inject into the constructor parameters our dependencies. So we have, let's do private Firebase service, and we'll set that to capital F Firebase service. And let's see what else. Router, say private router. And I think that's good for now. And then we need to create our onAddSubmit function. And just to test it out, let's do a console log. And let's log, let's say this dot title. Save that. And let's go ahead and try it out. So we'll just say test. And we'll just say test for all of these. Please enter a number. Okay, let's open up our console, F12, and we get test. Good. So we know that the form is at least submitting. Now what we want to do is create an object with all of the fields that are submitted. So let's do let listing, and we'll set that to an object. And then let's put in the title, which will be this dot title. Since we use ng model, that is binding those fields to these properties, okay? And then we're just creating an object with those properties. So city, this dot title, owner, this dot owner, and what else? Bedrooms. And price, and type. Okay, so there's our object. Now what we need to do is we're going to create a function in the service called add listing. So let's go down here. Yeah, after the object, and we'll say this dot Firebase service dot add listing, and then we're going to pass in that listing object. Okay, and then after that we'll go ahead and redirect. So we can say this dot router dot navigate, and we're going to navigate to listings. Okay, so we're getting this error because we haven't created this yet. So let's save this. Now you may have noticed that we're not dealing with the image at all, and that's because we're going to do that right from the service. We're going to grab the element and then we're going to create a reference and upload it through there. So let's go to our service and we're going to create add listing. Okay, that's going to take in that listing object. Okay. Now uploading image is kind of tough to wrap your head around in Firebase, at least for me. This documentation page is really helpful. Basically, we need to create a storage reference. So we set this to Firebase storage and then storage ref. Okay, and then let's see, we need to create a variable and set it to this storage ref child. And it's kind of difficult, but let me just, they got a full example down here, but let me just show you. So in add listing, we need to create root reference. So we're going to say let storage storage ref, set that to Firebase Firebase dot storage dot ref, and let's make sure we brought that in. We haven't, so we need to bring in the Firebase module. So to do that, we're going to do import all as Firebase from Firebase. Okay. And then we're also going to have the folder as a property of this class. So right here, let's say folder, and I'm just going to set that to any. Okay, so then we can access it with this dot folder. Now, in the constructor, we can assign the folder name. So we'll say this dot folder, and we'll set that equal to, let's say, listing images. Okay, so that'll be the folder name on the Firebase side. And then back down to our add listing. So we create a root reference, and then what we'll do is we're going to do a loop and search for the HTML element that has the ID of image, which if we look in our form right here, this input has an ID of image. So we have to kind of latch on to that. So let's do for. Oops. Okay, so we'll say for, and then let's do let selected file of, and then we're going to put in right here some brackets, and we're going to use parentheses and then HTML input element. Okay, so we're typing this to an HTML input element, and then we're just going to say document.getElement by ID, and it has the ID of image. All right, and then right here we're going to do dot files, and it's going to be the first one it finds, which is the only one, so it's going to be at index 0. Okay, and now within the for loop, we're going to say let path, and then we're going to set this to, let's use our, what are these things called? Ticks. Okay, so inside here we're going to say slash, and we're using a template literal, so when you do that and you want to use a variable, you use this money sign and then these curly braces. So we'll put in this dot folder, and then slash, and then the selected file name. So selected file dot name. Okay, so that's going to be the path. It's going to be whatever this is, which is listing images, slash, and then whatever that file name is. Okay, so then we have to create a variable called iref, and we're going to set that to storageref.child. Let's see, is that right? Yeah, and then we pass in the path. All right, and what we're doing here is this right here, storageref.child. Okay, so we're pointing to that. And then what we'll do is take that iref variable and we're going to call .put, and then in here we want the selected file. Okay, and then we're going to do .then, because that gives us a promise. So .then, and then in here let's open up another set of parentheses and put in our snapshot parameter. Set that to a code block. And then here we can say listing.image equals that selected file dot name. Okay, and then we'll set listing dot path, set that to the path. That way when we save it in the database, we'll have the image name as a property. We'll also have the path. Okay, and then we just want to return this dot listings dot push. Okay, and then we're going to pass in the listing, and that'll save everything to the database. It'll save all the files, all the information from the form. It'll save the image name, and it'll also save the path to that image. All right, so I know that that's a little tough to understand, and I actually had a hard time with it at first. All right, and if you guys know of an easier way to do this, please leave it in the comments. But this is the only way that I could find that actually works. I mean, you could have just as well used just a local file, you know, just upload it to a local folder. But I wanted to integrate it with Firebase. All right, so let's make sure that that's saved, and we should now be able to update or add a listing. So let's go to add listing. Okay, and let's see. We'll just say awesome mansion. Do I already have that? No. All right, so we'll say awesome mansion, city, say Miami, owner, let's say Bill Gates, bedrooms 16, type will be a state. Let's choose an image. Choose mansion 5, and then price, let's say 20 million. All right, so let's cross our fingers and submit, and there it is. Let's click on it. Okay, now we haven't added the functionality to actually show the image, but we can see we are able to upload. Now let's go to our Firebase console and let's go to storage. I might have to re-log in here. And there it is. There's our listing images folder. If we go in there, we have mansion 5. So everything worked out. So I'm going to just close these up. And then what I want to do is delete the initial listings that we have because the path for the image isn't correct. So let's go to our console and go to database. And we only want the one that we uploaded from our application, which is this one here, Awesome Mansion. So this one we can delete, and this one, delete that, and this one, because you can see the path here is image/mansion. That's not right. It's the listings image, and that was just basically test data anyways. Okay, so now we need to go back to our listing component TS file, and we need to import Firebase. So I'm going to say import all as Firebase from Firebase. And then down here where I have this to do, we're going to set the reference to the image just like they did here. Let's see, where is it? So we want to do this, create a storage reference from our storage service, and then a child reference. Alright, so let's replace this, and we'll do, let's see, let storage ref, and let's set that equal to Firebase dot storage dot ref, and then we'll create a variable called space ref. Set that to that storage ref variable dot child, and then we're going to pass in the path, which is going to come from the listing above. Okay, it's coming from this right here, which comes from the get details. We can get rid of this console log. All right, let's see. Yeah, this should actually be a dot, not a slash. I'm not sure why that path is underlined. That's kind of weird. You know what? Let me actually console log that out. I want to make sure that listing actually has a path, which it should. Save, and then we'll go to a listing, and let's look at the object here. And it does have a path, so I'm not sure why we're getting that. Oh well. We'll see if it actually causes an issue. Alright, so then what we want to do is we're going to take that storage reference and we're going to say dot child listing dot path, and then we need to do dot get download URL, because we need a reference to the image to put in the source attribute. And then we're going to do dot then, and let's see, we'll pass in URL, set that to a code block, and then we're going to set the image URL. So this dot image URL equal to URL. Alright, now we already have image URL up here, that's good. Now we can also, if there's any errors, we can catch them. So right here we're going to say dot catch, and let's put error, and then we'll just I guess console.log if there's an error. Okay, so we're still getting this error for this path, and I'm not sure why. Anyway, let's try it. We'll save it, and then we need to go to our template, our listing component HTML, where we want to put the image, and we should be able to put that in right here. So let's do image, and I'm going to just give it a style of width of 100%, and let's give it a class of thumbnail, and for source we're going to set that to the image URL. Alright, let's save. Alright, so there it is, it shows up. Cool. So before we go, I just want to try and add one more. Let's say pool mansion, city, Santa Monica, owner, let's say Steven Tyler, bedrooms 10, type estate, image, price, we'll say 12 million. Submit. Okay, pool mansion, and there we go. Alright, so in the next video we're going to move on to being able to edit a listing, and then as well as delete a listing. Okay, and then we should be done. I may add some extra features, I'm not sure. But that's going to be it for now, guys. I know this was a long one. Sorry about that. And that's it. Thanks for watching.